When a lion cub was caught in a deadly trap, Elias acted without hesitation, but what followed was nothing short of extraordinary. Was it pure instinct, a spark of trust, or something even deeper and more powerful unfolding between man and beast? The sun was rising over K Wildlife Reserve, casting streaks of gold and crimson across the endless savanna. The grassland stretched far and wide, gently swaying in the early breeze. In the distance, a pride of lions stirred, one powerful male lion, 3 lionesses, and a small scrappy cub trying to keep up. The cub, named Ta by his pride, was curious and playful, often venturing ahead despite his mother's soft growls of warning. Today was no different. His tiny paws patted ahead as his mother watched anxiously. Unbeknownst to them, a cruel danger lurked nearby. Ta wandered near a dense thicket, his nose twitching as he followed a strange scent. Suddenly, snap! Ta's piercing cry ripped through the tranquil savanna, a raw primal sound of agony that instantly shattered the peace. The steel snare, a cruel trap laid by unseen hands, had ensnared his delicate neck, its unforgiving teeth biting deep. The air, once filled with the subtle nuances of the wild, now vibrated with a lion cub's distress. His mother, a formidable lioness, was the first to arrive, her protective instincts surging. She, along with the other lionesses, formed a defensive perimeter, their low growls a warning to any potential threat. The male lion, the pride's patriarch, approached with a measured, powerful stride, his eyes sharp and vigilant, searching for the source of the danger. He surveyed the scene, his powerful frame radiating a tense readiness. But the snare mechanism proved impenetrable to his strength. Ta, trapped and trembling, whimpered, his small body convulsing with each pulse of pain. The familiar scent of humans, laced with the metallic tang of the trap, filled the pride with dread. They recognized the sinister signature of poachers, a constant menace that haunted their existence. The knowledge that these human predators were nearby, capable of such calculated cruelty, cast a chilling shadow over the pride. Their protective circle was now a fragile bastion against an unseen, yet deeply felt threat. Elias, a veteran park ranger, felt a familiar dread coil in his stomach as the radio's warning echoed through the cab of his Land Cruiser. The news of poacher traps near the eastern thicket was a grim reminder of the constant battle he waged against the darker side of humanity. Years of witnessing the brutal reality of wildlife exploitation had etched a permanent wariness onto his face, but it hadn't dulled his resolve. He despised the insidious nature of the traps, their indiscriminate cruelty a stain on the very soul of the savanna. Each snare represented a slow, agonizing demise, a silent scream lost in the vast wilderness. The ranger's grip tightened on the steering wheel as he abruptly changed course, the dusty path leading him toward the reported location. A distant, heart-wrenching roar pierced the morning air, a sound that instantly sent a jolt of urgency through Elias. He recognized the primal anguish of a lion cub in distress, a sound that spoke of pain and vulnerability. The knowledge that a young, vulnerable creature was suffering, possibly ensnared by those barbaric devices, fueled his determination. He pressed the accelerator, the Land Cruiser bouncing over the rough terrain, each passing moment a potential tragedy unfolding in the heart of the wild. He knew he had to reach the cub quickly before it was too late. Elias, his heart pounding a frantic rhythm against his ribs, carefully exited the Land Cruiser, the weight of the moment pressing down on him. The air crackled with tension as he navigated the dense undergrowth, his hand instinctively hovering near the tranquilizer rifle, a tool of last resort. Emerging from the brush, he found himself facing a scene that held him captive. The lion pride, a formidable wall of muscle and ferocity, encircling their injured cub. The lionesses, their eyes gleaming with a primal intensity, locked onto him, their low, guttural growls a chilling symphony of warning. The male lion, a magnificent specimen of raw power, fixed him with a penetrating stare, his muscles coiled and ready to spring. Elias felt a knot of fear tighten in his stomach. One miscalculation, one perceived threat could trigger a violent confrontation, putting both himself and the vulnerable cub in grave danger. He swallowed hard, his throat suddenly dry, and forced himself to speak, his voice a low, soothing murmur. "Easy now. I'm here to help." The words hung in the still air, a fragile offering of peace. With deliberate slowness, he placed the rifle on the ground, a gesture of surrender, a visual declaration of his intent. The lionesses remained unyielding, their watchful eyes tracking his every movement, while the male lion's unwavering gaze held him in a silent, tense standoff. Time seemed to stretch into an eternity as Elias took a tentative step forward, then another, each movement measured and deliberate. A weak, plaintive cry from Ta, the injured cub, broke the tense silence, and a subtle shift rippled through the pride. The lionesses, ever so slightly, parted their ranks, revealing the horrifying sight of the snare biting deep into the cub's leg, the ground beneath stained with his blood. Adrenaline surging, Elias moved closer to inspect the snare. Its cruelty was evident, a heavy steel trap with metal jaws designed to hold powerful creatures like rhinos or elephants. The sight of Taz's rapidly swelling neck filled him with a sense of urgency. Every passing second increased the risk of permanent damage. He knew he had to act fast. He knew he had to act quickly. Kneeling beside the injured lion cub, his hands trembled slightly, a testament to the raw emotion battling within him. He began to grapple with the unforgiving metal, his muscles straining as he attempted to pry the rusted jaws apart. The steel barely budged, its unyielding resistance a cruel reminder of the poacher's intent. The physical exertion, coupled with the emotional weight of the situation, caused his arms to burn, but he gritted his teeth, refusing to yield. Taz's whimpers, small and pitiful, echoed in the tense silence, fueling Elias's determination. "Hold on, buddy," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion, a desperate attempt to comfort the suffering cub. He exerted every ounce of strength, pushing harder and harder until finally, with a jarring metallic snap, the trap broke apart. Ta flinched, a small relieved cry escaping his lips. Elias let out a heavy breath, his body trembling with the release of tension, as he carefully removed the broken snare from the lion cub's neck. Ta's injuries were now painfully clear. Ignoring the burning sensation in his arm, Elias reached for his medical kit, his movements precise and practiced. He cleaned the wound with gentle, soothing strokes, the watchful eyes of the lionesses following his every move. Ta let out a small whimper as Elias wrapped the bandage around his neck, but the ranger's soft whispers seemed to calm him. The male lion, his gaze no longer filled with hostility, observed with an intensity that spoke of something far deeper, a nascent trust, a silent acknowledgement of Elias's compassion. Elias stepped back, his breath catching in his throat. The male lion padded forward, nuzzling his cub gently, then turned his gaze to Elias. Their eyes met, and for a fleeting moment, there was a silent understanding between man and beast. The lion gave a slow blink, a gesture of peace. The pride of lions gathered around Ta, gently nudging him to his feet. With his wounded neck bandaged, the small lion cub limped but still managed to stand. The pride surrounded him protectively, moving together as a unified force. Elias watched, his heart pounding. He couldn't help but smile as they moved off into the grass, Ta leaning on his mother's side. The ranger lingered for a moment longer before picking up the broken trap. He tossed it into his truck with a grim look. Poachers wouldn't win today. As Elias drove off, he glanced in his rearview mirror one last time. There in the distance, the male lion stood watching him, the cub by his side. Their eyes met again. Elias gave a small, respectful nod. The lion let out a low, rumbling sound, almost like a purr, before disappearing into the savannah. Elias continued driving as the sun climbed higher, casting warmth across the vast plains. The moment lingered in his mind, a bond not built on words, but on compassion and trust. Somewhere deep within the heart of K Reserve, a courageous little cub named Ta walked forward, his pride surrounding him, all thanks to the steady hands and fearless heart of a ranger who refused to give up. From fear to freedom, Ta's journey is a powerful reminder that even the wildest spirits understand kindness. If this story touched you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us for more incredible wildlife rescues. because every animal deserves a second chance. What do you think of this story? Let us know in the comments section. I hope you like this story. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.